speak about what we want
have the
here.
representation, you have a delegation to go meet with them, got with them, and then just get everybody out and I spoke and lifted.
So just for the background, is Mr. Small is the same person
the
that
demands that we
the
want
chair of the Stop the War Coalition,
public
Fisher,
explanation,
and
so I'll have a
David
public
Miller
meeting
from
with them.
Strathclyde University met with when we had the demonstration here about 10 days ago. He's the director of public policy, so
This
he
is
is
spending
kind of
my
the
evening
public
reading
relations
either.
person for the BBC. He's not a decision maker. He's not in charge of broadcasting. And what he told us when he met with us was that he would take our letter of complaint. At that point, it was just about the way the BBC was covering what was happening in Gaza. He would take that to the decision makers and get back to us with a written response. Unfortunately, we have not yet received a written response from that complaint that we filed about 10 days ago. So just to be clear, he's like a public relations person who will take our message. He's not a decision maker.
Can I just say, I think we have to be careful about the value or the worthiness of, what we're being presented with here. Many people write letters to the BBC, and it's great we do that. We have to plus them continually. But we know that this letter that's being sent down to Helen Boden and others is going to be panned off. I know because I write letters to them all the time. We know what that's about. We have to sort of consider what is the real point of this, what can we get out of this here, rather than speaking to someone who is going to stand there and listen to what we're saying and go off and basically do nothing.
When you make a decision on this broadcast needs to be on it.
The broadcast is going out through ITN and various other channels, but not the BBC. That would be decided in London anyway. We know that wouldn't be decided here. I think the point of this is to make a specific point here in this building to get as much publicity as we can for it. That's a key point. I think the point
Chair is
Okay, I'll share Stacey.
I think what this demonstration will need is some concrete demands upon which, unless them demands are not met, then we stay here as indefinitely as those that are willing to do that. These demands can be that I don't know how big we want to jump through the hoops here and get what we want, but I think one of the demands should definitely be that we should be able to see ourselves on that screen at some point today. Right, and also the removal of the ban on this. But if anyone else has got any demands that we need to be met until we leave, then I suggest you propose them there.
Just agree with Stacey. I think two demands. Firstly, that they run the appeal for Gaza, called by the BBC, they refuse to do. And secondly, a cameraman in this foyer interview 5 or 6 or 10 people to a 5-minute piece on their tomorrow morning GMT or something like that. So a bit of press coverage, recognition happened, recognition about the depth of feeling across the country about how outrageous it's been as BBC refused to broadcast this. But I'm not up to time limits on it. I'm happy to stay here for another 4 hours.
Okay, so far we've got, we want this broadcast on the BBC,
And a camera crew for some interviews.
a camera crew for some interviews.
It's a bit of a bureaucratic thing, but when SOAS occupied down in London, one of their demands at the very end was to have no legal charges for anything.
Somebody write all these down. Somebody start
And
writing
the thing
these
is
down.
that if we have any arrests made, then we can exploit that because we've gone back on the word. It works for SOAS, it doesn't work here.
Okay, I would suggest another thing we want to is to be able to have freedom of movement between the outside and the inside of the building. Yes?
Some refreshments. Some refreshments from the baskets.
Okay, refreshments.
Come on, let's not go to it. Stacey, you want us on the TV?
I think what you're saying is absolutely right. It's all very well having a representative here to speak to one of. Who knows about that? The key thing is